definitely gonna do a collective reading here in a little bit, but in the meantime, I'm chilling. Doing a collective reading after this. I think the next full moon is in Cancer, but that's not for a little while. We'll see when that is. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? Apparently it's January 3rd. Apparently the full moon is January 3rd. What? That's in 5 days. Damn. Okay. So, man, the full moon in Cancer is kind of self-explanatory. It's like, it's releasing any old emotions or, stagnant emotions, pent up, built up emotions, or that you haven't maybe released or felt, or full moons are all about releasing and letting go, and Cancer is a water sign, so it could also relate to like letting go of any stagnancy surrounding home or stability, because Cancer's focus is on home, stability, security. Yeah, so it could be like releasing any stagnancy around that, anything related to let's see what else. It could also focus on letting go of like emotional patterns that are rooted in stagnancy surrounding stability, security, home. So emotional patterns surrounding money, potentially, or anything that's impacting your foundation, you know. And it's about honoring your true feelings and what makes you feel foundationally the most secure, safe. Emotionally speaking and otherwise. Yeah, that would make sense. Well, why cancers are so good at manifesting, because in order to build with a cancer, you have to secure the emotional foundation. You have to secure, trust, loyalty. Those are big ones for cancer. And in order to manifest the most high vibrational, potent shit, you have to heal, and heal like your root chakra, and heal at the core in order to manifest, which is why cancers are master manifestors, because we understand the concept of having that emotional stability and emotional foundation above and before all else, because it all connects back to that. I mean, if you haven't healed and your mental and emotional health is all over the place and you are imbalanced, it's hard to maintain that stability overall in all areas. So it's really quite emotionally intelligent, and again, that's why cancers are master manifestors, because we understand the concept of the emotional stability needing to be there before you go anywhere else. So yeah, you have to start at the root chakra. Didn't really expect I was going to be talking about the full moon in Cancer, but I didn't realize it was 5 days away. So it's all about releasing anything that interferes with that, impedes with that. It's harder to manifest from a place of emotional, like, baggage or distraught. Like, I definitely have noticed when I have tried to manifest stuff from a traumatized, unhealed place, things that get manifested from that energetic space are usually kind of warped a little. So the healthier you get, the healthier your manifestations get, and what you bring into your reality and attract to you get. Which is why all of this is important. For your life in general, because I don't know, when you're grounded in yourself, everything else kind of follows suit, you know. That's what I've noticed. That's what my experience has been, for sure. But the reading I'm about to do is going to be a collective reading. next. That's the reading I'm going to do in a little bit here. Yep, so shout out to Cancer gang. You know, and definitely this full moon might be intense for people who haven't done a lot of healing, or people who still have to process a lot of emotions. Yeah, you might find a lot more is coming to the surface. As a Cancer myself, full moon and Cancers are like really, it's really good energy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, full moons aren't as much for self-reflection. New moons are more related to, self-reflection. But I mean, in order to release things, you kind of have to, I guess full moons are probably more for like feeling and releasing then, I guess. But I mean, you kind of have to self-reflect to get to that point usually. Not always, but so yeah, any feelings that come to the surface during the full moon in Cancer, just let it ride, just don't try to change it, or just observe it, and also just noticing any like emotional patterns that come up too. How do you respond to things emotionally? And is it rational? Is it serving you? Is it serving your I don't know, I guess your foundation, your overall stability, like, because Cancers don't just feel and do shit just to feel and do shit, typically. So there's always like a purpose. And that's because, again, we are focused and centered on home and security. So we're not sloppy with our emotions. There's a purpose and intention, a meaning for it. So yeah, maybe digging deeper to find that as well. And probably learning to temper your emotions too, because I mean, Cancers are quite, strategic in certain ways. That's why people, I guess, say we're manipulative, but we're not. We're just emotionally intelligent, and people who aren't on that level might feel manipulated because, I don't know, we were too quick with it, I don't question mark, but not my prob. So yep, the full moon in Cancer might be a little intense emotionally, but it's worth taking some time to allow yourself to feel whatever it is and reground yourself. Let go of the old, whatever emotions or whatever attachments, things like that, I mean, because really, it is emotionally intelligent the way that a Cancer kind of operates, because it's like you can flow much easier in your purpose when you don't have a shit ton or any emotional baggage that's weighing you down. That makes it harder to focus. It makes it harder to do what you need to do, basically. And so it's quite emotionally intelligent, actually, to handle your emotional issues first, because then, like I said before, everything else follows. The full moon in Cancer is on January 3rd. Yep. So, people want to talk all the shit they want to talk, but Cancers, we just shut the fuck up and win. Is it IE or is it EG? EG 50 Cent? Perfect example. Perfect example. You don't really see that man say much unless it's necessary, right? That's how, well, I can relate to that. That's how I am. I mean, if I don't have shit to say, I'm not gonna force it. That's why sometimes I get on here and I don't say shit. The loudest in the room is the weakest. That was Tupac's one mistake he made, because he was the strongest in the room, but he was a little too loud, which, I mean, he needed to be, but the strategy of a Cancer will never get you got again. Example, 50 Cent. It's because of strategy. And that requires emotional intelligence. Yeah. The full moon in Cancer is a good gauge for how, like, stable you are. Like, I don't know how to say this. If you're sensitive to energy and you're, tuned into it, it can be a good way to kind of gauge where you are at emotionally, because if it's like really intense or overwhelming emotionally, or you just notice you're like all over the place, well, it just gives you an idea of like, okay, you have more healing to do. If you're chilling like me, it's a good indicator that job well done. Job well motherfucking done. And still, job well done, even if you're still healing. Keep healing. But I'm just saying, if you're more calm, I mean, and it depends on the person. I mean, you could be a psychopath, so Just remember that. It's not one size fits all here, folks. Discern based on what you know to be true about yourself. What do they call it? Is it the... Let me look this up real quick. Okay, yeah, there's something called the under-arousal hypothesis, and it applies to people who have like antisocial traits. So this could be people that have like antisocial personality disorder, or, you know, whatever. What used to be called psychopathy and sociopathy, I still call it that. But anyway, it's basically the notion or theory that people who have have more of a tendency towards antisocial traits have a harder time, or like they have a harder time like getting getting feelings from things, basically. You know, when you like, you know, you watch something you enjoy and you get good feelings from it, right? People who have like antisocial personality traits, they struggle with finding, you know, like things that stimulate them very easily, which is the theory as to why they tend to go towards more violent behaviors, because they can't experience those feel-good feelings or like stimulation from normal shit like you or I could. Well, I don't know you, but like I could. I can't speak for anybody else here, but yeah, so I guess I'm just saying that if that applies to you, then I don't think the full moon is gonna, I don't know, make a difference one way or the other, but could be a good gauge for that too. Are you feeling nothing or numb? I'm not saying you have antisocial traits. Maybe you have PTSD, you know, but just, and I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just saying, just, you know, check in with yourself. It's a good time to do that during this energy. So yeah. Wow. Oh, I was trying to show you. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see it. This is when I'm smoky woken, peeps. It's literally the best. The best strain around. So I'm going to be doing a collective reading. It's going to be for December 30th to January 15th after this. So stay tuned for that. Feel free to rewind the video and listen to what I said about the full moon in Cancer. I'm trying to think if there's anything I left out, but yeah. Yeah. Alright, peeps. I'll be back in like just another minute. BRB.